Got someone on line 4 now from Glasgow who's using the name M, which is okay.
Good morning.
Hello, M.
Hi there. I would just like to say that I find it quite disturbing that some individuals that call the programme seem so hell-bent on defending the countries that they escape from. And they seem offended by Western policies. And if it wasn't for our policies, they wouldn't be phoning you because it wouldn't happen in their own countries.
I haven't had anybody on the show tonight who's escaped from anywhere, Em.
They've came from other countries. Obviously, I think it probably would be Middle Eastern countries, just given their names and their accents. I don't mean it to sound offensive. It's just I think that sometimes they maybe think that they're defending something that they probably know in their heart's wrong, but maybe they think we are too powerful or...
the old they and we thing up and running again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to be
and
like...
you picked them out... No, I mean, they've got accents and they've got names.
Yes.
Yeah. That's them.
But that's not wrong.
Oh, no.
No, it's not, because that's just a fact.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do we need to do? We need to entrench into that a bit further, really.
Well,
you, M, who have not given your name.
Yeah.
Why not?
It's Margaret. It's M.
Right. Oh, all right. Yeah. M.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
But you can hear where I come from. You know, I'm Scottish. I'm Glaswegian. So it's... I mean, I'm not advocating anybody who comes on the programme has an entitlement to give whatever name they want. But obviously the way they're speaking and everything they say comes with a but, which cancels out whatever they say before that.
Uh-huh.
Am I wrong, Tommy?
Don't understand what you're talking about, really. I think you know what you want to say, but of course you won't. And I'm glad you don't.
And what do you mean?
I think you know what I mean, actually.
No, I don't, honestly.
Well, in that case, then, maybe I know you better than you do.
No, I think you'd more... Could you explain that to me, then?
Nope.
Because maybe I'm thinking something else.
Doubt it.
Why?
I know where you're on.
I hope not.
Wouldn't that be terrible if I knew you?
No.
The world would be a better place if I knew you.
Yeah, it would.
I knew you, and you knew me, and we all knew each other.
Well, I think that's a bit harsh because, I mean, I don't...
Harsh? Yeah. What's harsh?
Saying that you know what I'm thinking by my statement.
Why the hell is that harsh? Why is that harsh? Why do you assume that's harsh?
Because you're telling me you think that you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When I've already said that I think that it's wrong that people come on the phone and tell us...
Us?
Yes.
Yes, us being... Who's us?
The British, the
yes.
Americans, the people who have suffered.
Right, so there are people coming on the phone and they're telling us, which includes you,
yeah,
the people who have suffered.
Yep.
Yes. And what are they telling you sufferers?
They're telling people that that what Americans, it's their policies, it's what they've done, and to sort of like explain the reasons why this happened.
Yes.
That's not really, this week is not acceptable for explaining why it happened. We've really got to put our hearts and minds into people that are actually in pain just now because their children, their mothers, their fathers aren't coming home.
Mm.
That is our main concern just now, not why. And the people that take refuge in this country, they always seem to feel that we're still doing wrong.
Darling, there's nobody been on this show tonight who's taken refuge in this country.
How do you know?
I'm a better judge of these things through experience,
yeah,
and because we also take people's backgrounds before they go on air,
yeah,
than you are. And it's the second time you've suggested that the people who have come on this show with names like Hussein, I suppose, who've made their points, and we welcome their points because they live here, just like they would live here if they were wherever, because it's one planet, really.
Oh no, I do agree with that.
Hang on, though. they haven't run away from anywhere and come to a better place.
I think some people do.
Yeah. Maybe.
I do. I mean, I think that Britain is certainly a better place than probably Afghanistan is.
Well, you see, again, that's a really interesting point you just made, and I don't want to dwell on it too much this evening, but I mean, I was watching a CNN program today in which a Christian aid worker was trying to explain to some American interviewers what life is like in Afghanistan.
Yeah. Do you think I'm racist? Because I used the phrase them and us?
I was uncomfortable about it.
You were?
Yeah.
Well, can I say something else then? If we'd like to talk about religion and things like that, I've actually got a son who's nearly 18 years old, and his father was a Muslim. Now, because of religious reasons, we weren't allowed to be together. And it's my son who's taught me that being racist or being hurtful towards others is wrong. And thankfully, we've both learned off each other. I brought him up to have an open mind, and I do apologise if I do say things like them and us. I don't particularly mean any harm towards anybody, but my son has learned me that you look at people and you judge them for who they are, and certainly not where they come from or what they do, but we do have to take into account that...
We have to watch things like saying, you could tell by their names and their accents.
Yes, of course, and that's the reason, that's why I was explaining that I'm not a racist, because obviously it's just the name I realised.
It's something that racists often can fall foul of.
Yeah.
Saying things like, you can tell by their name and their accent.
Yes, of course, and I do appreciate that, but that's why I was giving you the background, that I do know that that's a Muslim name and things like that. It certainly wasn't a racist comment. If my son knew I was on the radio to you just now, I think he would die. You're the one he listens to every night. So don't take me wrong.
No.
And I'm terribly sorry if I did cause offence to anybody, but it wasn't the...
No, I don't think you've caused offence to anybody except other, perhaps, than your son.
Yes, probably. Please forgive me, because you'll kill me.
Yeah, thanks, Em. To Patrick, who calls from London. Hi, Patrick, you're on Talksport.
Hi, yeah, I'd just like to congrats on the atheism point you made. Just might refine that and say that it's humanist atheists would not do that shit. And then there's another point I'd like to make, just a quick point, is that I'd just like to say that, there's been a lot of talk going on about saying that these acts were perpetrated due to the oppression in the Middle East, in Palestine, in Afghanistan, in Iraq. I think that's kind of missing the point a bit. I think it's, that these terrorists weren't poor oppressed people from Palestine or from Afghanistan. These people are rich boys living in Florida paying tens of thousands of dollars for flight lessons. My Arab friends can't even get into America. So, do you see what I mean? And maybe just another quick point, because I know you're going to be talking again for a long time there. But another quick point is that I think one of the solutions might be just to support people who, for example, are against, disgraceful regimes like the Taliban, who really, I don't think, cultural relativism, you can take to a certain point, but when there are regimes like the Taliban who really, just have no respect for human rights whatsoever, I don't think, we can tolerate that. I mean, you can go up to a certain limit with your cultural relativism, but after that, you can't.
Thank you.
What do you think about that?
I appreciate what you had to say. It was concise and it was thorough and it was well thought out, and I enjoyed listening to it. No argument. John's next in the Wirral. Hi, John. You're on Talksport.
Hello?
Hi, John.
Yeah. Yeah, what I'd like to talk about is I think they got it wrong with the, mistakes that were made. Intelligence and all that.
Keep going, I'll catch you up.
Yeah, well, I think I think what they should have done is made more, more checks on the airports and that. With knowing that for a long while there's been so many, massive threats to the country, would have thought that, they would have made, you know what I mean?
Not really, no.
You don't know? No.
I'm not really up with you at all, no. Keep going, maybe, who knows, pick you up as you go along.
Well, they reckon like 3 weeks ago, or, there was massive, threats made to America, or there's going to be a massive incident. And you reckon the intelligence is known for a long time, that big things are going to come up.
Is that right?
Oh, that is definitely right.
Is that definitely right?
No, that is definitely right.
Oh, I love definitely right.
That's definitely right, that one.
Oh, do you know, I walk down the pub most nights and I've got 6 definitely rights up my sleeve. Just some bloke come at me, I've got some definitely rights.
Yeah, but that'd be the problem. Yeah,
Yeah,
well, as I'm saying, and as
What have we got here? What?
Yeah, but as you're off joking about it.
Well, make your point here, because I'm totally lost in all of this.
Yeah, but what I'm actually saying is that...
It's meandering.
Yeah, well, I'm not meandering as such, no, but what it is...
You're meandering. Make your point.
The intelligence works on the system.
Now, make your point, friend. Make your point tops.
Well,
and then we'll cascade down from that. So let's hear where you're actually coming from. The thing you want to say is this.
Right. The thing, what I'm saying is, I think the intelligence in America,
yes,
or the basic security with the knowledge that they've had, the threats and that from, terrorists and that, where they've moved in the sense that they should have worked out that something could have happened or should have, might happen and that, and that they haven't took very many preventive measures about it. Now, coming down from that, the cascade, I'd say that they've really blundered badly on the thing that some like the airports, which would be like basic security, or what they thought would have been checking them out properly, for security reasons, screening. Whereas what actually went wrong...
Yeah, okay, look, I think we're all agreed that domestic flights in the United States are notoriously easy for people to move around the tarmac. That's because people in America want to get from A to B. They use them like buses. It's never occurred to them, because America has been so free from the kind of terrorist turmoil that's been commonplace, tragically, in the United Kingdom and indeed in most continents. But in the United States, they have never had to consider domestic terrorism as a problem. And when it did rear its hideous head, it turned out that it was a homegrown thing. It was a collection of survivalist fanatics with an opaque or non-existent agenda, just distorted nuts. Now that America has discovered that terrorism can work in the way that on the continent of Europe and, as I said, elsewhere around the world, we know it can work. They will quite simply install the same kind of safeguards which they and we use for international flights, because believe me, it's more difficult to get into the United States, even with a visa from the United Kingdom, than it is to get from any European country to any other European country. So they know how to put up curtains, and they know how to put up safeguards. They've got plenty of those. And my understanding is that whoever boarded those flights on Tuesday boarded them as if they were travelling domestic. But frankly, if you go from Gatwick to Manchester, it's just as easy. You can pitch up 2 minutes before the damn thing is going to fly, and they'll send you down. And you used to be able to, and this is going back 18 months in my case, you used to be able to run across the tarmac. Now, what everybody has to do when it comes to making a mode of transport or a bank or a school or whatever secure is, again, hit that balance between achieving an appropriate level of security and allowing the function of whatever that body is. And you could quite easily set up an airline, an airport, a school, whatever, that was so secure, so absolutely secure, that there will be no danger whatsoever of any terrorist organisation or lone nut reaping their tragic mayhem. But you would also hamstring it so thoroughly and so utterly that it would have no possible useful function?
I think sorry to interrupt you, I think the biggest point I'm making is, I think what is so surprising to me is, I know the internal flights and that, inside America, besides the international flights, they're very liberal and, you can, it's like, I said, getting a bus and that. But it's a wonder over all the years, all the flights, and that no one's ever noticed that, you know what I mean? Something might, something might go wrong. It's a wonder all the millions of flights, billions of flights.
Yes.
That someone has never ever noticed that, you can always...
What had gone wrong?
Sorry?
What had gone wrong?
No, but I'm saying, I'm not saying that anything...
No, but the point is nothing had gone wrong. It had been fine. It had worked fine. Americans, and indeed most people the world over, say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But now something's broke. Diane calls from London. Hi, Diane, you're on Talksport.
Hello, Tommy.
Hello.
What's happened in the US will also happen here, according to Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, because our foreign policy, as we all know, follows that of America, Iraq, Serbia, and so on. Maharishi predicted what happened a few days ago, 2 years ago, with absolutely spot-on accuracy. And he placed ads in all the international press to warn governments about it.
What did he say exactly then?
Sorry?
What did he say exactly?
I have it here. It was quite lengthy. It was a quarter-page ad, but the bit that relates to America says, "Can you imagine if bombs began to fall on Washington, D.C., and to destroy the high rises of the money markets of New York? Will NATO be able to prevent this? When this happens, it'll be beyond the power even of the wealthy to save the situation." He went on and on about the bombing of Yugoslavia. It was during the war that he placed these ads.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that there's anything more in that than the kind of ramblings of Nostradamus, to be fair, Diane.
No, this was a prediction.
Well, it wasn't a prediction.
And the reason he placed the ad...
No, Diane.
Yes.
I don't like this mumbo-jumbo.
Mumbo-jumbo, clairvoyancy.
Yeah, all that cobblers.
Oh, dear.
No, sorry.
But it's proved right.
It isn't proved right. It was a rhetorical question. I could do exactly the same thing myself, plenty of times.
But the point is that he went on to explain that NATO can't prevent anything. NATO accepts that. The security people...
When did you start getting into all of this?
What's all of this?
This chap and his...
Maharishi?
Yeah.
Maharishi is the founder of Transcendental Meditation, a brilliant man. I first got involved with him when I was in the civil service.
How long ago was that?
That was in 1976.
No, I'm afraid I'll go back a bit further than that.
Yeah, did you learn to?
Of course, yeah.
Ah, well, do you still do it?
No, it's bollocks.
Really? For you? And now this doesn't sound...
No, it's bollocks for the whole lot of us who...
Tell me, this doesn't sound like you at all.
I'm sorry, my love, it is.
You're not being open. Now, I've been involved for all these years.
Oh, I'm sorry, darling, but you're talking to somebody who can pull rank.
I've studied it in depth. I've studied it in great depth.
There's nothing to study.
There's a tremendous amount to study.
What else have you studied?
If you haven't...
I'm asking a question. Did you hear it?
I've done a French degree course.
Right, what?
I've worked in the civil service for 20 years, had a very good career, and then gave it up.
That's the same year 20 times over. Right, so you've been a civil servant.
No, because I duplicated. While I was in the civil service, I worked with Maharishi.
Neither here nor there.
Trained with him.
Well, yeah,
we need a group of yogic friars, Tommy.
You're wasting my time.
War is made in the minds of man. Peace can also be made in the minds of man. What about the scientific research, Tommy?
This doesn't do any good to anybody.
Tommy, the scientific research. We have research on drugs.
Who's we?
Everybody, the world. There's loads of research on drugs which is accepted and continues to be used.
What's your mantra, Pep?
continues to be used to cheat people.
What's your mantra?
But when there's
No,
solid...
can you just answer me a question? What's your mantra?
We don't review mantras because
Well,
the
why
mantra
not?
is a personal thing.
Right, exactly. That's my first objection to this.
Not right. No, it's for good reason. It's for the individual that it's kept
Fine.
secret,
Well,
the mantra.
I learned, and I've moved on from the ramblings of the Maharishi.
Peace can also be made in the mind
do you mind listening?
of man.
Do you mind listening?
You're being rude.
Yeah, well, I will be rude, because I'll tell you why. Because
You are rambling, and you are talking about Maharishi being a rambler. He's nothing of the sort. He has spent his life...
I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what, if I may.
Yeah?
For all the clear thinking that you have brought to this discussion, you're a rambler. Now listen to me.
It doesn't matter how I ramble.
It
it's
does, darling.
the scientific research on meditation.
Diane,
Tommy.
can I explain something that's very important?
Sure.
And I want you to think about this.
Don't you think it should be tried? It'll only cost $1 million or less to try it.
What I found objectionable after giving transcendental meditation and the people who followed it every opportunity to acquaint me with how they saw the world and their hopes for the world, nothing struck me more obviously than this. It's an arrogance.
An arrogance?
Yes.
I'm not arrogant.
I'm afraid you are.
I am the least arrogant of people you could meet.
I think it's a bit of a conceit.
I have a message that I need to put across. The message is the scientific research.
And you're not prepared to listen.
Even if we're arrogant, Tommy, you should be.
You are. And I found all of the followers of this little cult. No, I'm not. No.
Even if we're arrogant.
I found all of the followers of this little cult.
They're mostly
drawn
spies.
By more.
They're mostly
or less
infiltrators.
Nothing. Than
They're
the
mostly infiltrators.
It gave you to be conceited about.
They're mostly infiltrators. You shouldn't.
I didn't hear in all the time I was amongst them anything that amounted to a piece of wisdom.
It doesn't.
I have rarely spent my time. I can tell you, I could sit on a train with a bunch of Portsmouth supporters, okay, and listen to them about their views of the boardroom wrangles, which is what football supporters talk about, and I would hear more wisdom from those dear gents than you could hear in 10 busloads of followers of transcendental meditation. And by the way,
Tommy, may I say
just
something?
so that it upsets you enormously,
No, it doesn't. May I say
the
something?
mantra that I had was Aim.
May I say something?
And if there is going to be any kind of progress made by mankind, the idea of a religion which gives each individual... It is a religion.
It's not religion.
It is
no, absolutely not. It's Vedic science.
You don't understand the word religion, then go away and look it up.
I do understand. I'll tell you all about it if you give me a chance.
No, actually, I'm not interested because I don't like the kind of brainwashing that I know you people are up to.
No, we're brainwashed from childhood.
Well, yes, and you've been brainwashed differently.
That's not brainwashing. There's scientific evidence, very sound
I
science.
don't like the idea of...
It shows that it works. Don't worry about arrogance. That's not important. It's whether it works. Whether it works, whether it creates peace, Tommy.
The difference is
Don't worry if I'm arrogant. Don't worry if anybody's arrogant.
I'm not, darling.
Many
What I
people.
what I have to challenge, you see, Diane, if I'd got the impression that you were doing anything other than trying to tell people how wonderful it is to be you, then I wouldn't be standing in your way. But all that you've done is come across as being somebody...
That's your interpretation.
Yes.
It's totally wrong. Totally wrong. My compassion is with the people who suffer in the world. I'm desperate when they're suffering. I'm heartbroken when they're
it's all about
suffering.
you see.
It's nothing about
It's just
me.
about you. You've just come on here and you've just said now, you've just illustrated exactly what I'm saying about.
Even if it is, look at the scientific research.
But Diane, darling, this call from you is all about you.
Even if it is, don't worry about it.
If it is about you, then we're not interested. I'm not interested. I'm sorry. But I know what I'm talking about, because I've done the damn thing. I've done the damn thing and moved on from it because it doesn't work. It's not of any use. It's rather sad.
Hi, is anyone there?
No.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi. I'm still listening.
Hello.
Hi.
There's no one there.
I'm here.
Oh, we better move on.
No, I'm here.
I'll try again. Hello, line 5.
Hi.
I'm sorry, I'm mucking you around. I just had to lighten it after that last caller.
I tell you what, she was a head case.
No. No, but she was ever so proud of something she'd got, and we all do like to show off our own bright, shiny objects. That
Very intense.
You know, we all like other people. We all want to show other people what we've got in our trouser pockets, don't we?
I know.
That's what it boils down to. I'm the same.
I'm just a bit worried, actually, Tommy.
Yeah.
Can I just tell you? I'm worried about the USA, actually. USA. The USA think the whole world begins sort of and ends with them. And I hope they don't do something stupid and draw us all into something that we're not sort of quite ready for. I mean, I've got sons, they're aged 16 and 13, and I don't want them drawn into something. And I hope they find out who the perpetrator is and don't do something silly with someone they don't know.
You see, in this respect, we're all the same as the United States of America, because we're all completely consumed with our own selves, aren't we?
I know what you mean, yeah.
You know, we are. You walk down the high street and you see all those strangers.
Yeah.
And their lives look comparatively easy, don't they? Because we know what are the 10,000 things that we've got to do that day.
Yeah.
Well, America's just the same.
Yeah.
They're just the same as you, with your agenda, and Diane with hers, and me with mine.
But do you not think that the Americans are a bit more insular than us? I mean, all they think about is America.
No,
I mean,
I don't. No,
we've got Pat Rafter and Tiger Woods saying, I will not fly out of the United States now, and all this.
Pat Rafter is an Australian.
Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah. I'm a bit ignorant, sorry.
Don't worry about it. The point is, Joanne, we are all just tied up with ourselves, whoever we are. None of us can get outside of our own bodies and our own lives.
Yeah.
And nor can America.
No, but in a certain way, I was talking to someone who'd lived in America for a long time, and when they look at their news, all the news is about America all the time. They don't know anything about Europe, they don't know anything about Africa. They're sort of totally insular to themselves.
What do you know about Africa?
Well, I've been to South Africa and I've been to Morocco, but that's about it.
What for?
But just holidays, that was all. I never saw the people.
Exactly.
I know. But
what do you know about Afghanistan?
Afghanistan.
Do you know where it is?
I do know where it is, yes, but
Where is it then?
I know it's an Islam country and there's the Taliban and stuff like that, but...
What do Americans need to know that they don't?
No, that's true.
What do they need to know that they don't?
No, because they've got their own lives. I see what you're saying.
You know, I don't know anybody who could draw a map of Europe and put half the countries in the right place.
No, I don't...
I don't know anybody in the United Kingdom who could draw a map of England and do half of what used to be the counties. Could you?
I could, yeah. My father was a geography teacher.
Well, they're the sods.
Yeah, the old teachers of the sods, yeah.
Do you know, I mean,
Didn't you used to be a teacher?
Yeah, but not geography, mate.
No.
I did a whole term on Yugoslavia, and I remember waking up and telling you on the radio one morning, hey, here's the 8 o'clock news. Yugoslavia no longer exists. I thought, oh, that's bloody good, isn't it? A whole term I spent on that.
But aren't you frightened for your children? I mean, you said earlier you've got like a 10-year-old child.
No, I'm not frightened. Because I believe in the human race, and I believe the human race gradually goes on getting it a bit more right than it used to.
Yeah, but do you not believe that the Americans sort of sanitise everything and put everything on their own level? It's not the rest of the country. I mean, if people died in an earthquake,
I'd rather have sanitised things than unhygienic things. I know what you mean. No, America does not frighten me on the whole.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure.
Why do you want to be?
You sound as though you want to be frightened.
I'm not. I'm just looking for, like, reassurance, really.
You've got negatives.
No, I'm not.
Negatives.
I'm not.
No. The world is a much better place than it ever has been, in spite of the most unthinkable things that continue to happen.
What worries me is people like Tony Blair saying, whatever America does, we'll follow them.
All you're on about is what worries you, your concerns. Do you not know what a wonderful world it is?
It is a wonderful world. I love the world.
Have you looked at the moon tonight? Have you looked at the sky tonight?
I know,
When was the last time you took a really good breath just because you can? And I'm asking you that question because I really want to know the answer. When was the last time you took a deep breath because you can?
A couple of nights outside, looked at the sky. Yeah, I do love the world. Tommy. But
do you put the same effort into recognising the beauty and the enormous humanity that there is on this planet, as you do noticing the things that could be better. It's important to notice what could be better, but you mustn't just think of that.
No.
No.
It was lovely talking to you, Tommy.
I'm sure it was.
I've never talked to anyone on a radio show before, but...
I would love to be able to ring me up.
You're such a nice person. I used to watch you on Magpie.
So did I. It was recorded. But this is live, so I just have to make do with plaudits. Thanks, John. That was Joanne in Leicester. Now, I think my show tonight will make Charlie caller number last, because Charlie Wolf himself is probably going to be bursting through the door. I know that he has got a very powerful show lined up this evening, as you would expect. But Charlie in Sheffield, good evening to you, and thanks for calling.
Good evening, Tommy. Yeah, I mean, as you said earlier, it's multifaceted, and with all, many emotions that's dominated all our thoughts of it since Tuesday, really, grief, anger, fear, dismay, despair. But one of my spin-off thoughts, to use your analogy, is what
the
this...
caribou loose in the tundra.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, good image.
Yeah.
What dismays me, and this is only just one of my spin-off thoughts, is the distorted self-image that many, not all Americans, but many Americans have of themselves. And it really links with the call that you've just finished with, really. They genuinely don't understand why many people, millions of people, really hate them. And if there can be some good out of this awful tragedy, is that maybe Americans, ordinary American public, will be a little less insular and a little less arrogant, and maybe that'll filter through to some of their foreign policies, because they genuinely believe that most ordinary Americans genuinely believe...
It won't work like that.
No.
It doesn't work like that.
It's got to. That's the only way, really.
No, it doesn't. How many British people had a rethink when a dozen or so Irishmen starved themselves to death in a prison?
Yeah, but I mean, America's unique in the sense...
I'm asking the question. Did you?
Pardon? No, I didn't, because I don't live in the situation that Americans live in.
No, but what I'm saying...
They do live in a continent mass, and they don't have that kind of relationship that we've got in Britain with the rest of Europe and the rest of the world.
Charlie, I don't believe that America is in any way different from those... well, I haven't finished the bloody sentence. I might have been saying that America isn't in any way different in as much as they've all got green horns, but they haven't, have they?
No.
So why don't you try finishing the end of the sentence, and then you can disagree with it.
Go on, then.
I don't believe that America is particularly different from any of the nations on Earth who harbour a large number, and we all do, of people who think that their country is the best, their country gets it right, their flag is the flag of honour, their flag is the flag of decency, and anybody who challenges any of those things is a heretic who deserves to be stomped underfoot. That is a characteristic of a great many Americans, and it's also a characteristic of a great many people who live in your street, Charlie.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But the big difference, Tommy, is that America is the most powerful country in the world, and like any empirical power...
Well, in that case,
they get things distorted. I mean, we did the same in Ireland. Can I finish my point?
No, because I've run out of time, but they've got a damn sight better reason, bearing in mind what you've just said, for feeling like they do.
Yeah.
God only knows why the people of Portugal feel the same way. Mind you, they tend not to, so that's brilliant.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
What?
I missed that one. I just come in at the very last 10 seconds of that.
Guy saying you guys are too big for your cowboy boots.
Damn straight. Damn straight, and I hold my head high.
Well, it's like that thing. What was it somebody said about Clement Attlee, I think it was. They said to Churchill, he's very modest. And Churchill said, well, he's got a lot to be modest about. Which is kind of the opposite of you guys. Because America's got a lot to be proud of.
We do. Well, the funny thing is, I was just reading this in the Standard just a minute ago, just before walking in, and they were talking about the situation in the Mideast. They said, on the one hand, there are people in the Mideast that will sit there and yell, the great Satan America, this, that, and the other thing, but offer them a visa to come on over.
Absolutely.
And they'll be there in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
I was just thinking, even though I know you've been on during the week, and I was on yesterday for Ian, this is actually, it's only been a week since the last time we were together.
Yeah.
and how different the world is tonight. It seems like forever since the two of us last broadcast together. It was only a week ago.
A big thing has happened.
Yeah.
It remains to be seen whether it's the biggest thing that happens this year or whether bigger things happen. Somebody was talking earlier on with me about the conflict that's likely to happen as a result of all of this, and I said I don't think it will be a conflict, because a conflict calls for two sides of reasonably proximate strength, and that's not what we have here. We are going to have, I suspect, Charlie, tell me if I'm wrong, I'm going to be glued to your show. What we have here, I suspect, is what one American caller to a show that I was doing on Wednesday night on Talksport from 4 till 8 said, he said, look out, he said, because we're coming, and we're right. Look out, there are going to be lots of big smoking holes in the ground.
Well, I'll tell you this much, that, you know, the one thing I notice is, remember, I mean, I hate to use a line out of, I don't know, was it a Rambo film or a Schwarzenegger film, what was the catch line about, this time it's personal? And this time it is, every other war we have fought since World War II, since Pearl Harbor,
somebody else.
Has been for somebody else.
Yeah.
And you know, you can say whatever you want to say about George Bush. I'm going to talk about that later, because I know people are kind of, you know, mocking him, and yeah, he's not the greatest orator in the world. I'll be the first to say that. But you'll notice, one thing you will notice when he said, and I can't remember if it was the press conference or where it was, when he said, we will win. And as a fellow American, I could pick up the way he said it. He said it with a very relaxed knowledge of, this is how it is. We will win.
Charlie Wolf with you right after news and sport on Talksport.
10:89 and 10:53 a.m. Talksport. On the hour, headline news from the Sky News Centre.
Good morning, it's just gone 2 o'clock.
Radio.
Have you seen the Family Fortunes contestant?
I would...
what he said?
I would... yes.
Name 100 things that come from tomatoes, and the bloke goes turkey.
08700 40 50 60. He's going to end up as a DJ. That bloke is going to be a DJ on Radio Power FM Stoke.
Yeah.
He is.
He is, isn't he?
He really is. He really is. Because he can say something that almost makes sense immediately, but on reflection, on examination, makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. That's all DJing is.
Yeah. It's true, that is.
08700 40 50 60. To line 6. Let's see who's there. Line 6, you're live on Talksport. Who are you?
Hello.
Hello.
Tommy?
Hi.
Yeah, serious question here. Can you tell me why it is that we've not got a dedicated blues station?
A dedicated blues station?
Yeah. You know, blues music. I know we've got 3 hours every week on Jazz FM with Paul Jones and an hour on Radio 2, and that's about it. I mean, lots of people like blues music. Just wondering why we haven't got anything dedicated to
You
it.
probably hit the nail on the head there. The simple truth is that if enough people did, then you'd have one. I mean, that is the
Don't think
truth.
there's enough people into it.
I don't think so, no. There's nothing wrong with
I
blues.
thought you liked blues music yourself, because I remember...
Hey, no, wait. You see, you just made a huge leap of logic there. You can like something and at the same time bite the bullet that not many other people do. I personally prefer to like things that not many other people like. But it's a great human failing to think that if you like something, you better go round trying to persuade other people to like it. This is where most of us go wrong. Like that caller a few minutes ago who wanted us to know about this Japanese man who invented some computer game.
Never
He just
heard of it.
wanted people to have heard the guy's name. Why?
Never heard
Because
of it.
he had. Exactly. Exactly. But you're doing the same thing by saying, I like blues. Hey, you like blues.
I don't think, no. I mean, what I've heard of, God bless his heart, Paul Jones, and that he knows his stuff. But I think his choice is too diverse for my own taste.
Fine. Well, tell somebody else. Tell the bloke down the chip shop. But it's not stuff for
I don't
national
eat fish and chips.
phone-in radio.
Horrible stuff.
The Who and all of these.
I worked with this.
Clapton.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned Clapton. I went to the blues cafe last time I was in LA, and it was really interesting seeing all these great blues guitarists, busts in the hall, the foyer of this restaurant. Busts, marble busts of all the great blues artists, and I can't remember their names, but they were all things like
B.B. King.
Yeah,
Muddy Waters.
B.B. King, and it was B.B. King, and it was like Minnesota, USA. And then it was, And there's all these artists with fantastic names, fantastic faces, all from really evocative places, you know.
Like Billy.
Yeah. And then right in the middle of them, there was one English guy, and it just went, E. Clapton, Guildford, sorry. Really. 08700 40 50 60. Charlie Wolf's your man. He's here from 2, yes?
Yeah,
2?
yeah.
But he'll, maybe if he's not busy, he'll do us the favour of popping in just before the show starts, give us some idea of what's on his mind this evening. He can always pick up the baton and run with it if he wants to. We're taking calls live, unscreened and at random, so we're never quite sure who's going to be there. Line 1, you're live on Talksport. Who's this?
Oh, hello, Tommy. Tommy, I've got a lovely story to tell you. A friend of mine came back from Jersey at the weekend, and they'd spend the afternoon, the Sunday afternoon, watching the gorillas at the Jersey Zoo. Do you know the Jersey Zoo at all?
I've heard they've got one.
Well, it's a beautiful zoo, and there was a huge crowd watching the gorillas. And a little baby gorilla, it scooped up a handful of dirt and threw it at my friend's husband, who wasn't a big butchy sort of man. He's just an ordinary little man with a bald head. So he picked up this clod of earth and he threw it back down below into the pit. It's a sort of 8-foot drop down to the gorilla pit. So the baby gorilla picked up this clod of earth again and threw it straight back at him and hit him. So by this time the crowd were all quite amused. So he threw the clod of earth back down and the baby gorilla picked it up again. So my friend moved along a little bit. And then the gorilla looked along all the people, found the person he wanted and threw this clod of earth back at him. You know, he did this 8 times and the crowd were screaming with laughter by this time. It was I don't know what it was, what sort of animal behavior it represented, but what do you think? I mean, could that animal recognize that man? Why did he throw that clod of earth at that man?
Because he doesn't want to be in a bloody zoo. He wants to be in the jungle again, where he belongs, doesn't he? That's the reason for it. It's tragic.
Yes, but why not throw it at somebody else?
That isn't the point. He wants out of that zoo.
Do you think that's it? No, I don't. I think there was more to it than that.
More to it than that? What?
Yeah.
The freedom of a wild animal. There's more to it than that. What could be more than that to the gorilla?
Well, that little baby gorilla didn't know any life other than the life in the zoo.
Don't you bank on it, pal.
Well, it probably had its instinct that it wanted to be free, but they're very, very well fed. They're very well taken care of, and no doubt he has an instinct for freedom. But the problem is, why did
the reason the gorilla threw that was because he doesn't want to be there. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. I'm an animal trainer.
Yes, but why
I've worked with animals in captivity. I'm here to tell you that it's wrong, all wrong.
Yeah.
The animal threw stuff at those people who come and stare at him hour after hour, day after day, week after week, year after year, for the rest of its natural life, which is not terribly natural, in fact, not natural at all. And they hate the punters. They hate the public. They hate the humans who come and goad them, the humans who have the freedom to do what they want to do. They loathe and despise them. And if they don't have access to dirt to throw at them, then they will use their own bodily wastes to throw. Are you listening to me? Because I'm telling you, asked me the question. I thought you really wanted an answer.
Tommy, and I'm listening.
Because otherwise your story is quite irrelevant. It's supposed to be charming, but I find it quite worrying.
But why did he pick this one man? Why not the rest of the crowd?
He picked that one man probably because that one man happened to catch his eye and he found that one man offensive.
Do you think it was because he was bald or something?
No, I think it's because the man looked at him in a way which the gorilla found upsetting and annoying. And I would, if I was a gorilla, I'd throw mud and anything I could get my hands on at all those stupid creatures who come and stare at them for no apparent reason.
Yeah. Oh, well, I just thought it was very, very strange behavior for an animal.
Yes, I've explained it. So it's not strange any longer. You've got it. So write to Jersey Zoo and tell them to let the animals go. They've got no right to have them. Who do they think they are?
Yeah. This is the same zoo that the greyback gorilla, Rambo, protected the little boy that fell down into the pit. And this wonderful Rambo, he stood over that little boy.
You're quite impervious to what I'm saying,
No,
aren't
I'm
you?
not. No, I'm just saying how wonderful that this Rambo protected that little
No,
boy.
you can't actually sort of engage me with what I want to, with what I want to try and engage you with.
You've
which is
told
the...
me, yes, you have. You've told me
Yes,
that...
but you can't engage on it.
I can.
No, you can't. You're not doing it. You're not having the conversation. We're not having a conversation, love.
Well,
You're telling me things.
I'm only saying that the same zoo that this greyback gorilla protected the little boy that was unconscious in the pits, and he protected it from all the other animals.
How marvellous.
Now, if
How marvellous. 08700 40 50 60. You're tuned to Talksport.
On 1089 and 10:53 a.m. Talksport on the hour sports update and headline news from the Sky. Nice.
Yeah, whenever I hear this music, I wish I was Cuban. Wouldn't you like to be Cuban?
Yeah. It's not a bad thing to be.
I'd love to be Cuban. I'd love to be a big 6'2" Cuban bloke, you know, with a taut tummy and able to look really good in long cream pants.
But living in Cuba.
Oh, yeah.
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 Well, yeah, but there's a lot of car problems, you know.
I appreciate their car
You wouldn't have your nice car out there.
No. You'd have a nice car, but it wouldn't be going anywhere.
No. It'd be bits of old American cars.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, all right then.
Well, you could be Cuban in America or here. Be Cuban.
Yeah. Yeah.
Better to be Cuban outside of Cuba.
Pencil moustache, good cheekbones.
Nice trousers.
Great strides.
Yeah.
And I'd also wear two-tone shoes.
Yeah.
And being a honky, I can't get away with two-tone shoes. People think I'm playing golf.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Gay.
Or gay.
Yeah.
A lot of people think I'm gay.
But that is a sign of gayness, two-tone shoes. In a, you know.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it now?
Yeah. Well, psychologically, it's a deep psychological thing.
How does it work?
I don't know, man. Yeah, I'd have to work it out.
Yeah,
Philosophise about it over about an hour.
Okay, well. In many ways, I'm surprised I'm not gay. Wouldn't surprise me if I was gay. Except I'm
I know
not.
what you mean. I could think that as well.
Yeah. And sometimes I check. I just have a look at pictures of David Beckham and just see. And I'm not.
Yeah.
No, seriously, I think most blokes do.
Yeah.
Because it would be very complicated if you started to turn gay, if you actually started out heterosexual.
Well, I don't think you can.
You know, like you can be latently homosexual. I've read.
But, yeah.
It can creep up on you. Okay.
Yeah. Can it?
Yeah. Supposing you're homosexual, but you're latently heterosexual. I've never heard of that happening. A person who is homosexual has got a boyfriend, several boyfriends, has told his mother and father, come to terms with it, sorted it all out, nice lifestyle, all the rest of it, suddenly gets a thing about Cameron Diaz. Does that happen?
I have heard that from people I know, saying, oh, I've been gay for so long, but that girl, I find her very attractive. But I think they're just lying, really.
Yeah.
But maybe not.
Just trying to stay one step ahead of
And they say, oh, I think I'm turning or something.
Yeah.
They're joking.
08700 40.
Don't forget to subscribe and like. Comment too if you wish. Even slap your legs and make a purchase from Ann Summers. But don't do nothing.